Hi everyone, welcome to this video. So for today, we will be talking about item analysis, and that is your last topic under assessment in learning 1. So before we proceed to the main course or topic, let's have your simple recall. Okay? And in order for you to conduct a certain test examination, what is the first thing that you need to prepare or you need to construct? So we have this is our first topic under finals. Our finals, we have your table of specification or your TOS. So what should be included on your TOS again? Okay. We have your objectives. Yan. So, saan nyo i-base ang ating objectives? We have your Bloom's Taxonomy of Cognitive Domain. Ayan. So, either you can have the old version or yung new version. For the old version, diba? Old version, we have Kika-ase. Ayan, para mas madali ninyong ma-memorize. And then for the new version, we have your remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and we have your creating. And so this one is the old version, and then this one is the new or the revised version. Okay? And take note that under your objectives, your HOTS, okay, dapat mas mataas ang percentage ng HOTS kesa sa percentage ng LOTS. Ano ba yung HOTS and LOTS? We have your higher order thinking skills, and then we have your lower order thinking skills. So the percentage or the number of items under HOTS or their objectives should have a greater number than your LOTS or percentage. Yan. And under our Bloom's Taxonomy of Cognitive Domain, so the first 3 and then the next 3. Yan. First 3 and then the next 3. So the first 3 would be under your LOTS. The next 3 will be under your HOTS. And we have LOTS here. Then we have HOTS. Yan. Siguro naman lahat kayo familiar dyan, di ba? We have knowledge, comprehension, we have your application, analysis, synthesis, and then your evaluation. This one, they just transform the words into a verb. So we have remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and we have your creating. Yan, pinagbaliktad lang ang synthesis at evaluation. In here, we have evaluation and then we have your creating. There. So that is your objectives. Next, aside from the objectives, your TOS or your TOS should also have your, of course, topics. Yan. Topic or topics. And then, we also have your, we have your number of items. We also have your number of points. Okay. Then we have your percentage. And lastly, we have your location. So there. Those are the main. Yan. Okay. Content of your TOS or your TOS. So after making your TOS, you're now ready to construct your test, which is your second activity. So we have your test construction. Alright, so under your test construction, we have several teacher-made tests, and it is divided or subclassified into two main classifications. Yan, we have your objective type. Then the other one is your subjective. Okay? Alam ko, fresh pa sa inyo ang test construction kasi you're just done submitting this one under your objective. So we have multiple choice, labeling, and so on. We have several types of teacher-made tests. Under your subjective, we have your essay, you have your restricted, and then your extended essay. Ayan. So after constructing your test, you're now going to administer it. So we have your test administration. Okay? And this one was the module that was posted before item analysis. Okay? So, on that particular module, you'll see there ano yung mga factors that would affect, ano ang gagawin mo during your test, during the conduct of your test. Okay? Next, which is our main goal for today. So, after constructing your test, of course, you will now collect the papers. You're going to check, okay, whether or not the students were able to get number 1, ano yung mga scores nila, alright? And you are now ready to analyze each and every item. So we have your item analysis, okay, which is the main goal of this particular video. Okay, next. So let's have the process. How will this item analysis, okay, works? Number 1, of course, you need to check the papers. After checking the papers, you need to arrange the test scores from highest to lowest. Ma'am, paano kung may magkakaparehas na scores? It's okay pag sama-samahin mo. Kunyari, 20-20-20, 19-19, tapos 18, tapos 16, tapos 14, and so on. Next, you get the 1/3 of your papers. So, your population will be divided into 3. What do we mean population? Ilan yung nag-take ng exam? Ilan yung nag-take ng exam? I-divide mo ng 3. Ayan. Okay? Yung number na yon na makukuha mo, yan, you need to get it from your highest scores. So, yung lahat ng nakakuha ng highest, yan, kukuha ka ng items doon or ng test paper doon. And that will represent your upper group. Next naman, na 1/3 will be coming from your lowest scores, which will represent your lower group. You count the number of students in the upper and the lower groups respectively. Choose who choose the option. Okay, ilan ba ang sumugot sa option A, option B, and so on. You need to record the frequency or the number of students who answered that particular option. Then we're going to compute and interpret the following. We have your index of difficulty, index of discriminating power, then we have your effectiveness of your distractors. Okay? Itry natin. Simplihan natin. For example, okay, so you handle a particular section. For example, section A. At yung lahat ng nag-take ng exam under section A, we have your 36. Okay, balikan natin. First step, you need to check your papers. Arrange the test scores from, okay, number 1, we have you check the test papers. Next, number 2, you need to arrange from highest to lowest. Tama? Next, number 3, you need to create your upper group and lower group. And how? You need to divide your population into 3. Tapos kukunin mo yung 1/3 from your, okay, upper group. Sorry. Should be your U. Upper group. And then 1/3 will be coming from your lower group. Okay? So, for example, ito yung lahat ng nag-take ng test. Now, kukunin mo yung 1/3 daw nito. Nasa number 3 na tayo. So, you divide it by 3. So, 36, kasi nga kukunin mo yung 1/3. Paano mo ba kukunin ang 1/3 ng 36? Multiply it to 1/3. Or simply, 36 all over 3. Tama? 36 divided by 3, we have 12. Okay? So, 12 na test papers ang kukunin mo sa nasa higher group. Kasi nga, in-arrange mo from highest to lowest. So, yung unang 12 na makuha mo dun sa taas, that will be your upper group. Okay? Upper group. Yung 12 naman na makukuha mo mula sa may pinakamababang score hanggang dun sa pinaka-12 na tao, that will represent your lower group. Okay? And let's have this table. So, try to inspect this particular table on your module. So, it says there, upper group, ilan sila? 12. Ayan, 12 sila. Lower group, ilan sila? 12. Okay, nakuha. Next, dito, this is a multiple choice type of exam wherein there are 4 options. We have your option A, option B, option C, option D. Okay. Ulitin ko, ang upper group natin, 12. Tapos 12 din yan. Saan natin to nakuha ulit? Yung ginawa natin kanina. We have your population divided by 3. Ayan, step 3. So, we have population divided by 3. Kumuha ka ng 12 mula sa may highest scores, tapos 12 sa lowest scores. It will become your upper and then lower group. Yung middle group mo, hindi mo na yun i-item analysis. Hindi na sila kasama. Okay? So, in here, may asterisk yan. Anong meaning yan? Yung asterisk natin is your correct answer from your options. So, letter B ang sagot niyan. Okay, now, you try to record the frequency. Tama? So, bibilangin mo. Option A. Ilan ang sumagot dun sa option A? Correct ha? Ilan ang sumagot dun sa option A? Okay? So, we have 1 to 8, 2, and then 1. If you try to add, 1 plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is the total. Ako ha? O, ito naman. Ilan ang sumagot sa option A sa lower group? 2. Option B, wala. Option C, 9. Option D, 1. If you try to add, 2 plus 0, 2, 11, 12, which is the same as this. Okay? Next, we have your total. Ang total lang naman, we are going to add 1 plus 2, we have 3 here. 8 plus 0, we have 8. Okay, we have 2 plus 9, we have 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. And your total here is 24 because you added 12 plus 12 is equal to 24. Okay? So, ganito ang itsura ng ating isang item. One item only ito ha. Kunyari, item number 1. Okay? Next. So, if you recorded the frequency already, you're now ready to compute and interpret the following. So, let's start with your index of difficulty or your ID. Letter I, letter D. So, it says there, refers to the proportion of the students getting the right answer to each item. Okay? Right answer to each item. Ilan ba ang nakakuha doon sa item na yon? Yun ang index of difficulty. Okay? So, this is your formula. So, we have your ID. What is ID again? Index of difficulty is equal to what is RUG, what is RLG. Andito yung legend. So, we have RUG or RLG, number of students from the upper or lower group who got the item correctly. Okay? So, ilan ang nakakuha sa upper group, ilan ang nakakuha sa lower group, i-add mo lang siya. All over N. What is N? The total number of cases. Okay? So, in here, ang N natin ay pag pinag-add mo ang total number ng upper group at lower group. Yun ang big letter N. Okay? So, N natin dito is 24. Now, let's try to solve. Okay? So, this table is very important. It is going to show you how to interpret that particular index of difficulty. Okay? So, sabi dito, take note, items with difficulty index less than 0.21, so mas mababa sa 0.21 or very difficult or more than 0.80. Okay? Mas mataas sa 0.80, nandito siya sa very easy. So, kung nasa extremes yung item mo, very difficult or very easy, it should be rejected. Otherwise, kung hindi naman, so if it's okay within 0.21 to 0.90, you need to retain the test item. Okay? Example tayo, syempre, para mas maintindihan. Ayan. So, same example. So, in here, in order to compute, so how many got the correct answer from the upper group? Okay, correct answer ha, correct answer from the upper group, we have 8. Okay, so 8 yan. And then, you add it from the number of students who got that particular correct answer from the lower group, which is 0. Okay, and then your n, what is your n again, which is the total if you add your upper group and lower group, which is 24. Okay, simplify. 8 plus 0, we have 8 divided by 24. 8 divided by 24, oh, baka hindi kayo maniwala. Let's use your calculator. So, we have 8 divided by 24. So, the answer is, ayan, round off to the second decimal value. So, we have 0.33. Okay? So, ang ating computed ID is 0.33. Ngayon, babalikan natin si table. Saan ba ang 0.33 dito? 0.33 is within 0.21 to 0.40, which is interpreted as difficult. Okay? Therefore, this particular item is difficult. Since difficult yan, we have to retain it. Bakit ma'am retain? Kasi di ba sinabi natin dito, okay, items that are less than. Okay? ID is less than 0.21 at more than sa 0.80 should be rejected. Kung hindi naman, it should be retained. Okay? So that is your ID or index of difficulty. Okay? Next. So, in here, paano naman yung mga items na under performance-based? Okay, so in here, we have your average score. You mean average, we have your summation of your values. Okay? And then, we have your highest possible score. Ayan. Madalang lang na ina-item analysis ang mga performance-based assessment. Okay? Most likely, we have your multiple choice. Pero pwede pa rin. Next, so after your ID, we have your IDP or your index of discriminating power. It says there, it refers to how well an item can accurately discriminate between test takers who differ on the construct being measured. Okay? So, ito, malalaman mo kung ilan sa kanila. Ayan. Kung yung items ba. So, it is going to classify or discriminate whether or not there is a positive or negative or there will be no discriminating power between your upper group and then your lower group. Okay? So, in here, the formula is IDP, Index of Discriminating Power, RUG minus RLG all over N. Again, RUG or RLG would be the number of students from your lower and then upper groups who got the correct item. Okay? And then your N, notice here that your N is small letter. Kanina, yung N natin is yung total. Okay? So, if you try to add your upper and then lower group, dito naman ang N natin would be the number of students for each and every group. And this will be the table that you will use in order to interpret your IDP. Yan. So, if you have your positive values, meaning your upper group Okay? Mas madami ang nakakuha ng item na yun sa upper group kaysa sa lower group. There's a positive discriminating power. 0 kapag nag-equal. Yung upper group mo, yung number ng students na nakakuha ng upper group ay equal sa number of students na nakakuha sa lower group. So, no discriminating power. And then we have your negative values. Your upper group, okay, mas konti ang nakakuha sa upper group kesa sa lower group. That is negative discriminating power. Okay, example. Same table. Yan. So, in here, use the formula RUG minus RLG. Okay, base it from the correct answer. So, in here, RUG 8 minus 0. 8 minus 0. Okay, all over n. What is n here? Instead of 24, kasi big letter n ito, yung n natin is this one. Okay, parehas lang naman yan. We have 12. So, in here, 8 divided by 12 is 0.67. 0.67 has a positive value. Tama? Therefore, there is a positive discriminating power or there is a discrimination. Ayan. May pagkakaiba from your upper group and yung lower group mo sa pagsagot. And ano ang pagkakaiba? Mas mataas ang nakakuha sa upper group kaysa sa lower group. Okay. Next. Item analysis for performance-based assessment. So in here, IDP, we have your average score or your mean of your upper group minus the average score of your lower group all over your highest possible score. Ayan. Next, we have your index of effectiveness of distractors or your IE. The selection of distractors can significantly impact the difficulty of the test and consequently the ability of the item to discriminate. Okay? So, malalaman mo dito kung effective ba yung nilagay mong distractor. So, in here, so for example, dun sa ano natin, letter B ba? Letter B is the correct answer. Now, you'll check if options A, C, and D, okay, is effective as a distractor. Ayan. Next, we have your principles. Did the distractor distract some examinees? If no, select the distractor. It is not doing its job. Okay? If no examinee selected the distractor, it is not doing its job. If a distractor is obviously incorrect that no examinee select it, it is ineffective and it needs to be revised or replaced. Okay? Next, did the distractor attach more examinees in the bottom group than the upper group? Effective distractors should. When looking at the correct response, we expect more examinees in the top group to select the examinees than the examinees on the bottom group. With that distractor, we expect the opposite. Okay? So, the main goal of putting your other options on your exam, hindi para ibigay sa kanila yung sagot. Okay? So, your choices should be an effective distractor to the point na hindi na alam ng estudyante kung alin doon ang tamang sagot. Okay? Let's have your table. So, it says there, so for your table, says there, options should be okay, pwede mo siyang mag-interpret as good, fair, poor. If the result, ayan, upper group is lower than your lower group. Okay? Meaning, more students from the lower group are attracted to that, okay, particular distractor. Ayan. Next, so dito, mas marami ang nakakuha sa or na-distract dun sa lower group. Okay? So, ito naman, fair, kung equal lang sila. Same lang yung na-distract. Okay? Dito naman sa poor. Poor if yung upper group mo mas maraming na-distract kaysa sa lower group. Okay? More students from the upper group are attracted. Still poor. Ayan. So, let's have your options. Okay, same example. So, correct answer is letter B. A, C, and D are just distractors. Let's try to compute and check. Okay? So, in here, for option A, upper group, and kung makikita mo ang upper group, mas mababa siya sa lower group, which is a good, okay, distractor basing from our table. So, in here, kung makikita mo, mas marami ang hindi nag-choose. Hindi nag-choose ng coming from the upper group. Ayan. Next, option B is the correct answer. Option C, upper group is less than lower group. Ayan. Upper group is less than the lower group. Tama? Mas mataas ang 9 kaysa 2. Therefore, it is a good option. So, option D, equal lang siya, kaya fair option. Kasi fair option. Paano siya magiging poor? Okay? Magiging poor siya kapag mas mataas ang nakakuha sa upper group kaysa sa lower group. So, kunyari, ito. This will be 2 and then this will be 1. Ayan, magiging poor option siya kapag pinagbaliktad natin yung frequency. Okay, so that is your index of effectiveness of distractors. Okay, let's summarize. Ayan. So, if you had computed an index of difficulty under easy, moderate, and difficult. Easy, moderate, and difficult. Okay? Very difficult, very easy, very difficult. Your IDP or discriminating power, kapag positive, 0, negative, positive, 0, negative. Index of effectiveness of distractor, we have your good, fair, poor, okay? Fair, poor, good, fair, poor. Okay, what's your decision? You have to retain, revise, rephrase, reject. Okay? So, kung nakakompute ka ng dito, sa example natin, let's summarize. So, according to the example, your ID, what's the computed ID here? Balikan lang natin. So, your computed ID is 0.33, which is difficult. Okay? Next, your IDP is 0.67, which is positive discriminating power. Okay? Next, yung effectiveness of distractors. Ayan. So, in here, most naman is, we have your good, index of effectiveness. So, we have good, and then we have fair. Okay? So, let's summarize it. Your index of difficulty is 0.33, which is interpreted as difficult. IDP is 0.67. Okay, so we have your positive discriminating power. Then your effectiveness of distractors, we have good, and then fair. Okay? Refer natin doon sa ating table. So, in here, ano ang gagawin natin doon sa item na yon? Una, the ID is difficult. So, any from the three, difficult. Difficult tapos positive. So, dalawa na. Tama? Difficult, positive. And then, our IE, fair, and then good. Tama? So, under your good item, okay, the option should be retained. Tama? Tapos, dito naman, meron tayong isang fair. Okay? So, in here, dun sa fair option mo, you need to revise that particular option na fair. But most likely, we're going to retain that particular item. So, okay lang na dun sa next na exam mo, same pa rin yung gamitin mo ng question. It's just that you need to revise that particular fair option. Okay? So, ano yung option na yun? We have this. Ito, option D. Option D, kasi kung makikita mo, yung upper group tsaka lower group ay equal. Ganon. So, that is how your item analysis works. So, all you have to do is to identify on the last part. Okay? You need to decide whether or not you're going to retain that particular item, revise, okay? Rephrase, sorry, or you're going to reject it. Okay? That's how. Okay, now let's have one more example. So for example, you have this particular table. Okay, so options A, B, C, this is the correct answer. From your upper group, 4 chose A, 3 chose B, 8 chose C, and then 25 chose D. And so on. Ganon din sa lower group. 1 chose 4. Okay. Next, we have 4 who chose letter D. Okay. Then we have 7 who choose letter C or option C. And so on. Okay? So, you try to check muna. Yan, the total. So, for example, ganun lang. Ito lang yung binigay na given. All you have to do is to create your total first or compute for your total. So, we have 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 25 is equal to 40. Next, we have 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 28 is equal to 40 again. So, the total is 80. Okay, again, this is your small letter n, and then this is your big letter n. Okay? So, number 1, you need to compute for your index of difficulty or your ID. So, UG plus RLG all over N. Okay? So, how many students got the correct answer from the upper group? This is the correct answer. Okay, asterisk, this is the correct answer. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. So, in here, 25, tama, plus 28 all over, what is our N? Big letter N is 80. Okay, so we have 53 all over 80. Okay, you try to use your calculator. Yan. 53 divided by 80. Answer, we have 0.66. Yan, rounded off to its second decimal value. 0.66. Check natin sa ating table. ID, index of difficulty. 0.66 is under 66. We have easy. So, this is easy. Yan. Okay, number 2. So, after your difficulty, we have your index of discriminating power. Okay? So, IDP ba? Yes, IDP. Index of discriminating power, the formula would be RUG minus RLG all over small letter n. So, how many got? Okay. The correct answer from the upper group, subtract it to the lower group, and then divide it by small letter n, which is 40. 40 yan, ha? So, 25 minus 28, so we have negative 3 all over 40. So, what is the answer? Negative 3 divided by 40. Answer is 0.075. Negative 0.08. Yan. Since this is a Negative. Negative yan ha. Okay? So, in here, ang ating discriminating value, negative siya. Therefore, RUG is less than RLG or negative discriminating power. So, we have negative. Negative. Okay? Next, let's have number 3. So, ay wala nang computation sa number 3. So, in number 3, sige, pakita ko na lang. So, for number 3, effectiveness of distractor, IE ata. Okay, IE. So, our correct answer is letter D, tama? So, A, B, C, and then D. So, this is the correct answer. So, from option A natin, sinong mas mataas? C, R, U, G. Okay? So, RUG is greater than RLG. Next, mas mababa si RLG, mas mataas si RUG dito. So, yan, tingnan nyo. So, we have RUG is less than RLG. And we have RUG is greater than RLG. Okay, so next, let's base it from there. So, kung mas mataas ang lower group na nagkamali, it is good. Kung mas mababa, it will be poor. Kung fair, okay, we have equal. So, in here, so mas mataas ang upper group. Therefore, this is a poor option. Ito naman, this one is good. This one is poor. Okay? Kasi kung makikita nyo, mas maraming nagkamali from the upper group kaysa sa lower group. Kaya poor siya. Ayan. So, let's summarize. So, ang ating computed ID ay difficult. Tama? Difficult. Which is 0.66. Sorry, it's easy pala. 0.66. 0.66, which is easy. Yan. Next, index of discriminating power. So, negative. Negative yon kanina. Verify natin. So, negative, yan o. Negative 0.08. And then, we have your index of effectiveness of distractors. We have poor, which is for option A. We have good, and then poor. Now, let's refer to our table. Alright, now, let's try to interpret. So, in here, makikita mo na majority ay poor option. Okay? Poor option yung dalawa. So, let's see. Under easy, moderate, difficult. Easy siya. Tapos, we have your negative value. And in here, most of your options are under poor. So, kung makikita mo dito, here, poor. Therefore, you still need to reject this particular item. So, this item na kinompute natin will be rejected from your test question. Therefore, kung gagamitin mo ulit yung test question mo, next time that you'll conduct your exam, you try to change that particular item entirely. Kasi, according to the item analysis, you need to reject it. Ayan. Yan. So, that is your item analysis. Last module for finals. If you have any questions, you may post that one on our discussion portion under Canvas or message me on Canvas. Okay? Thank you.